Alright, welcome guys to the trunk updates for 24th of April 2017. Oh, it's by Gamafunk this time. So today, joining me, Demise, is Lame Boy, i.e. Ultraviolent4. Say hello, Ultra.
Hello, Ultra.
So this is the Lame Boy. We said in the pre-recording session that I called him lame, and he said, well, you're not wrong. So he is the lame guy. So yeah, hooray, long-standing guest of the show. Or are you the co-host of this show? What's the idea behind this? I don't know.
I feel like
Questioning
I'm a
the cost.
guest.
You're a guest, a mere acquaintance of the Trunk Updates series. God damn, that's brutal. Have you even missed one? I feel like you haven't.
I remember that's one you did on your own, and you were
Ooh,
losing your mind because it was after all the one changes.
did I do one by myself? I swear to God, that I didn't.
Yeah, it's when I was overseas.
Ah, I don't remember this. Oh, you were in India, I think.
Yeah,
All right.
that's
Anyway,
right.
whatever. Yeah. Okay. So Ultra's been long-standing guest of the show, I guess. That feels bad, man. Anyway. So Gamafunk did this one today, apparently. Not pleasing fungus. So let's see how he does it. Hello, something boring, something. 2 months. So we've had 2 months since our last update. When was our last update? I forgot. It was
Sounds like a
25th
while.
of February. Yeah, it was quite a while. So it has been actually 2 months. So there's been a lot of things that have changed since in these last 2 months. The first thing that's changed has been the new Gnolls species. So these guys used to be called the Butan, Buta, Butarikian, right? Look, just smash your face on the
Voltanian
keyboard.
or something.
Bulgarian? Bul, Bulgo. Look. It was a stupid name. It was a really dumb name. It was just smash your face on the keyboard with a B at the front and then an N at the end. That's pretty much how it works. Um, Similar to Barakian. Pretty much the same thing. So null species have been added. They're doggo races. They're like humans with dog heads. So that's cool. And they have the short attention span mutation. So they have ADHD apparently. Um, so they start off with +4 in all aptitudes, and then as you gain levels, as you train up into the higher levels, so from 7, your aptitudes will drop by 2 for each fully skilled train, and it reaches a cap of -6 after level 12. So, for example, if you get fighting up to level 12, you're going to have a -6 aptitude, and I believe that's triple EXP cost, I think. I think each aptitude is 50% more or less EXP, right?
Sorry,
Oh,
that's a
Ultra's
really
being
loud
attacked
plane.
by a
There you
car
go.
right now. That's interesting. All right, well he's dead probably. Probably got run over unfortunately in the comfort of his own home. So that's the thing.
I'm still alive.
What?
It's actually once you get to skill 11, it becomes -6.
That's pretty disgusting. Um, so you're probably gonna want to train a few different skills, Pupper. They have a strong nose mutation that's completely garbage. Fangs 1 mutation, probably garbage. Only get +2 MR compared to the usual +3. Very arbitrary change, not exactly sure why. Um, yep, human XP, HP, MP values, human stat distribution. Oh, slower stat distribution. And I'm assuming, yeah, like it's okay. This is like the funny thing. Like they somehow they reversed my logic of like, look, guys, it's a very bland, generic across the board vanilla aptitudes everything race with a one gimmick. This time the aptitudes are the gimmick, so they really memed me out. I can't really say anything about that, but with regards to the strength of the race, I think Ultra's got a bit more experience. But I will say that from the get go, I'm gonna say that this is probably a kind of weak race. Not only because they have garbage like their MP values and HP values are most likely quite garbage if they're human level, and their like aptitudes. Oh, sorry, their mutations other than the aptitude thing don't really seem too amazing. But the short attention span I feel will be very difficult to negotiate by the end of the game because -6 training will mean that your fighting will remain low, your dodging remains low, your armor remains low, your weapon skill remains low, and if you train magic, you can't really go too far above 12 without costing your character a lot. So I'm not sure whether or not the correct decision here is to just pretend that you're playing like normal, but you have -6 on everything, or if it's better to just play it like you would with the with that one Sith Moona banner requirement in the tournament where you have to never train your skills above, I think, like 10 or something, or 15. Like, do you play like that, or do you play like a special, like just pretend that the race is just a human that's really bad? I think that there's gonna be like, I think that the proper way to do it is probably like something in the middle, where you're training more things than you normally would, but you're still trying to focus mostly on getting those core skills up. So I'm not saying that this is gonna be a full mage or a full melee race, but it definitely feels like it's a melee race, at least from what I can see. Ultra, what do you think about this? You've played, I believe you're playing a Gnoll right now.
Yeah, so I haven't been to the late game yet, so I can't speak about how badly it falls off going into the late game.
Uh-huh.
But at least through the early game and going into the mid game, species is really, really strong. Like you're so good at everything. It's just insane.
Well, yes, but where, like, what's your highest skill right now, and where are you?
It's probably 11,
Really?
and
And you're where?
uh,
Have you got a rune
where
yet?
am I? I think I've got one rune. I think.
Jesus. So nothing is at, and nothing is past 11. So you have,
Yeah, I haven't. I've intentionally not tried to train over 11.
so what weapon are you using? Are you melee or mage?
Well, that's the thing. Every one of these is everything. So I've got a demon trident,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm casting fireball. I'm using animate dead. I pretty much like got everything. It's
Right.
insane.
Are you playing with Aquawaru? I assume you are, right?
Yeah, I used Oka. I've got a
Yeah, so,
sling as well. I don't know.
yeah.
It's like
So our two like my theoretical gods for this race would be Okawaru and Ashanzari, mostly because they give that spell that XP bonus. But I'm pretty sure Ashanzari has like it does factor in what do you call it, aptitudes, right? When it gives it bonus
yeah.
XP. Yeah, so maybe
So if
not
you're
Ashanzari.
fully bound, you only get I think 2 bonus skill. It takes you from 11 to 13.
Yeah, so it's not that good.
It's not that good.
Like, so Okawaru is like the patron god of these dogs, which is odd. Because it doesn't seem like having anything else would be amazing. Like, yes, Fireball, Animate Dead, Slings, and a Demon Trident are fine, but like the question is, how does this character take on, for example, Zot or Depths with the 11 skill? Do you intend to like move beyond that, or do you intend to keep branching out until you have just everything in the game at 11?
I
Because
don't know. That's a good question.
see,
Like,
that's what I have the issue with, the fact that the character, the race itself, will be kind of weak by the end of it. I don't. It could be that it's doable, that it's actually very easy to do. But from my perspective right now, I don't think they're going to be a strong race just because they're not that good. Once my Greater Player Series run is done, I'll definitely be trying them out, and uh, the frog ones. So yeah, like I don't know. It seems that they'll have some difficulty. I mean, I could imagine a character walking into Zot with nothing but a demon trident and a shield and still winning. But normally with that you have 22 fighting, 20 dodging, 20 armor, right? Like here you're only having 11, so oh well, actually no, you'll have 16 of each because you'll have Okawaru giving you the extra stuff. So it might actually be quite doable. But I'm kind of interested to see whether or not this race is just too locked into the Okawaru game, because it seems like that one would be completely busted for any character any Gnoll who wants to play, because like Mage Gnoll, realistically Mage Gnoll doesn't work because, or at least pure Mage Gnoll doesn't work because even if you get all these crazy good spells, it's really hard to get anything above level 6, so you're pretty much pigeonholed into trying to win with level 6 or below spell, which is really not very easy. I think the closest you're going to get is like running Lightning Spire and Shadow Creatures at the same time, which is not really like easy to get in every game as well. So it's kind of hard to like see a character getting that far into the game and then being like, all right, I'm still a pure mage. You're gonna have to go to melee And if you're gonna go melee, it's most likely better for you to go Aquawara because the +5 skills is insane for your character. It's like you're getting so much bang for your buck because Aquawara just does not care about aptitudes that it's almost always going to be worth it to get it. Like it's interesting to see if there's another god, but I'm kind of questioning it. Maybe Vehement, possibly, but I don't think so. Do you think any other gods would work, Ultra?
Just your standard good 3-rune gods like Ured, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, Ured also. Ured will also get rid of the aptitude requirement because most of the time you're playing as the entire army rather than yourself, so you don't have to worry too much about the XP. Yeah, so it's either going to be Ured or Aquawara. Maybe not even Trog, like, because that does cut out a lot of your options. So yeah, Gnolls pretty interesting, but probably going to be low tier. If we were to put it on the meme list that ZXC made back in the day. Shoutouts to ZXC's tier list. Who else was like in charge of that? DRK or I don't,
Yeah, him as well, and I think MIBE. So
right. Okay, so that's like
I don't know how you're
classic.
meant to say his name. Do you call
Yeah,
him
I don't know.
Minotaur
Like
Berserker?
I always say like Draconian Kenku because that's like how I read it at the time. So like I've never had to say it out loud, so that's pretty interesting.
In my head, he's always Doctor. I'm like Doctor
Dr. K.
K.
Hey. Anyway, so changes to Wujan. So neither of us have played Wujan, so we're not really in a great position to talk about this. So we'll just quickly go over it. Whirlwind no longer has a chance to slow the monsters it affects. It's no longer favorable to use this over your normal melee on nearly every monster. Wall jump can only be used when it would hit a monster adjacent to the landing site. Sorry, no more weird endless tunnel jumping. This isn't a Mega Man game yet. So I assume that's to stop the weird exploits that players have been finding with a movement-based god. Heaven on Earth has been renamed to Heavenly Storm, and the god itself is going through some design overhaul and might be disabled for the Open 20 release. Again, this is one of those problems that I have with just generally with the gods that are coming out sometimes. The mechanics are so convoluted and like overly complicated at times that it often just flops because while the gameplay is fun, it's gimmicky as shit and it often leads to just frustrating situations where you're forced to play or you're forced to do this like really weird, absurd like conduct. Like Wujan himself, you have to be constantly moving and doing random things. You have to remember how your character, how the god interplays with itself over and over and over again every single fight. So it's just like, just kill me now. Like I remember the time where like even Nemelex is definitely guilty of that. Like you have to be so willing to play the old one at least. Even now though, it's still the same. You had to play the slots minigame. You had to change your decks to maximize effectiveness. You had to think about whether or not you would get screwed by the next card draw. You would think about having to cycle through your decks to make sure that you got better decks. You had to make sure that you had enough decks. Like it's just there's so much stuff in Nemelex's core, and it's all based on like different mechanics that it's really hard to actually make the god something that's like usable, really. But like I said, Wujan, it sounded interesting, but I'm not a fan of the way that's like. It's the same with Uskayo. It's the same with to some degree Hep, though Hep has proven itself to be a novel concept that's actually kind of interesting. Wujan and Uskayo have like similar things. They're playing far too much into the like your character is now Wujan slash Uskayo. It is not the character anymore. It's just the god. Because the god is so freaking complicated that you have to play exactly to that god's specification. It's no longer a question of how do I make my character better by using this god. It's now just how do I pick this god? Like, how do I get to this god? Once you get to the god, you're pretty much just playing the god, right? Ultra, you got any ideas on this? What are you thinking?
Um, I think. Well, I've seen people talking about trying to merge these two gods. So
Oh, please do that. Then I don't have to play an
it's
Uskayo game ever again.
yeah, it's
Holy crap.
interesting that you mentioned this too.
Like, there like it's a problem that I've seen in like lots of games, like League for example. where design just like in order to outdo itself in the past, its past self, like the people making the game or developing it or whatever, they'll go too far out into like the feature creep, I guess, the concept that like everything has to be more flashy, more cool, more interesting, more novel than the last one. It's never just like let's start with the idea and then build the idea. It's more like how can we make this idea as freaking insane as possible. Now I'm not saying that the devs are actually guilty of that in every case. For example, let's see, Dithmenos is pretty decent. Gozag is pretty decent, though it's like a little bit moving towards that feature area. Um, like, what are the new gods? Hep was like Hep is like kind of hard to say. It is kind of a bit feature creepy. But like I said, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily bad. It's just that like some of these gods are getting a little bit too clunky to use. Like um, Iskyle was definitely my like pet hate for a very long time, and it still is. I'm yet to win a game with it just because I don't want to play Uskayor. I want to play characters. But yeah, bleh.
Yeah, I
Rant
haven't won
over.
that god either.
Like, God, I don't know. Ugh. Like,
And
do you have?
I
Yeah.
just want to say I really liked the idea of Wujian when it first got released. It sounded really cool, but the problem is that it's kind of in a nothing spot at the moment because it's been nerfed to make it more reasonable, but now it's just kind of boring. So I
Yeah.
don't know what they're gonna do with it.
Like, look, honestly, it might just be because I fucking hated every time when I used to like do league stuff when like people would make these custom champions and they'd just be so fucking ridiculous. Like, what if we made a guy and he like turned enemies into dogs and those dogs fought minions for like 25 seconds? Like, but then they're neutral. They're not on your side anymore. It's like why do you need that? There's just so much stuff there. Like it's so weird. Like you don't need that. And perhaps that's kind of translated over to here. It's like what if we made a guy that every time he moves, he hits everyone around him, and he can jump off walls and dash and hit him and teleport nuke and mass confuse and paralyze and stomp the ground, stun everyone around him. Um, oh, and let's make his entire mechanic based on tempo. Yeah, let's do that. Like, there's too much now. Like, there's just a bit too much. I don't know. I like my good old gods. I like my Sif Muna. I like my fed ass. I like my Ellie. I like my the Shining One. No, I don't really like any of those gods. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, let's keep going. This is the one that Ultra hates because it is directly relevant to him as a 15 rune expert. Tomb now uses one-way staircases like escape hatches, with predetermined destinations. You'll land at the familiar destinations in the various levels of Tomb, but with no immediate return staircase. Should you need to escape, you'll have to find another one-way stair somewhere nearby. See this comment for further details. The age of going downstairs and upstairs in the Tomb of Ancients has come to an end, mortal. Alright, so let's look at that comment, see if it's actually worthwhile. So it says here that they don't want you to stair dance. So now when entering the Tomb 2 central ambush, so that is the Volts 5 lookalike ring.
Yeah, that's it.
The Tomb 1 outer hall, which is the entrance, I believe, and Tomb
No,
3.
it's when you go back up. So you go from tomb and you go back up and you
Oh,
do the
right,
middle
yeah,
hallway.
into that stupid like little ring thing, right?
Yep, that's the
Yeah,
one.
okay. And Tomb 3, the player must take an escape hatch that has no immediate return stay when they land. Instead, they can escape back to the previous level by getting another escape hatch within 12 spaces or so. So the reason why they're doing that, Tomb 3 now has a more substantive layout change to allow the hatches to work well. Blah 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 blah. The escape hatches would need to be close to the entry to give a good way for players to proceed for players who can't use translocations or certain god abilities. Slightly altered the actual layout, and it strengthens so it's meant to strengthen the theme of Tomb, featuring dangerous ambushes and confusing layouts. The difficulty increased to Tomb as a whole, since the player can't immediately return, but good tactics work very well for clearing the branch based on my playtesting. By Gammafunk. Gammafunk plays this game? What? I thought he was just a shit poster. Huh. Alright. Well, this one is This one is like, oh, look, I'll let Ultra rant about this because he hates this like a lot, right?
I hate it. I don't hate it.
Yeah, Ultra, come on, hate it.
I like the aim behind it, as in trying to make 2 more interesting. I'm not sure if this is the way to do it though, because I don't know yet, but I think it's going to be really, really hard for anyone who's not following either the Shiny One or McCleb, because being stuck on floors without any way to heal when you're being tormented.
What about necromutation?
Well, that's the thing. I think you're not going to want to do this if it's not your 14th or 15th room now.
But then
So
you never really did it unless it was your 14th or 15th room.
I did.
Yeah, but you're weird.
I did it as a 3rd rune in one of my games.
Yeah, I've done that too, but you were playing Kiku, right?
No, I was playing McCleb.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
No, what's wrong with you? Answer the question. Not.
But I quite often, even in a 15 rune game.
I love how you just tried to like, I can't answer this question.
Yeah, I'm crazy. Alright, is that what you wanted?
Yeah, that's what I wanted. There we go. Lame and crazy. Feels good, man. Alright. Yeah, so, why don't you do a 15 rune and tell me how it goes? I'm not doing that. I am playing.
I'm not sure I want to go here.
That's too bad. You're going. You got a one-way ticket
I don't know.
there.
We'll see.
Literally a one-way ticket to Tomb 3.
You have to do a 15 rune in the tournament, right?
I'm not doing it. But
beyond that, I can't see myself wanting to go to this new tomb.
Basically, it's extended. If you go to extended, you die for a reason. Like, fair enough. Like, look, if you die in extended, you die in extended. Like, there's no real. It's the same thing as Elf. It's the same thing as like Crypt. It's the same thing as everything else, pretty much. If you go to a place that you're not supposed to go to win the game, then if you die, it's on you, mate. Like, it's most likely. The only time where I would say that it's acceptable is if you had actually a good reason, like you've never done it before, and you've got a couple of wins, and you're willing to accept that loss. Or you have done it for the purposes of, like, say, a tournament or a race, like, fair enough. But from me, you will get no pity if you go into an area that you didn't need to and you die, because that's kind of the point of the game. Like, you take that risk, you accepted it, so dying to bullshit there is whatever. Like, Tomb, you died to bullshit, whatever. You died because you went in Tomb. Fair enough, right? Though I will say that with curses and mummies and stuff, Tomb was already pretty much the hardest place in the game. If they're making that harder, that's going to be interesting. I'm not sure if I am a fan of that, but well, we'll have to see. Next time we do a 15 rune, I'll be raging. Make sure to watch that, I guess. Probably be like whenever the tournament is. I'll try to do one if I can. But yeah, this one also Ultra really hates. Ijib and Maurice now always have wands, instead of just having the higher chance of getting one. Ijib now starts placement from D3 instead of D2. Watch out for those wands of acid. They hurt. So Ultra, I heard you enjoyed this change, and you were not triggered at all when you posted it to the Discord. Join the Discord, guys. It's in the description. Yeah, come on, let's talk about it.
Like and subscribe.
Make sure that you tell us exactly how triggered you are. Go on.
Yeah, I don't like this one. Basically,
come on, get mad. Embrace the rage. Come on. You gotta be spitting that hot fire, man. It's not fun if you're just saying, I don't like this change. It's not cool. No, just fucking rage. Go for it. It makes it comedic value, man. That's what it's all about. Let's go.
No, I can't do that. But anyway, this is...
God, is this how you run your channel, dude? Just like, that is...
Yeah, it is.
You
already have a salt monopoly.
Huh? I don't need a salt. I don't need a salt monopoly, but like being like completely conciliatory about it's not gonna help. Let it out. Let it go. Let it flow through you. Let a film of red overcome you. Let's go.
To the dark side of the force.
I'm the light side of the force. Like I'm just misunderstood. just freaking go. Just be angry. Come on, let's go. I want to hear it.
But I'm not that angry. I just don't like it.
This is why you're a lame guy.
Exactly.
God damn it. Alright. Lame guy, just fizzle off then. Do your thing.
Okay. You get super RNG'd now. You already could get super RNG'd before if Egypt had one of the high tier ones, but now you have a much higher chance of it. So if Egypt just happens to have a lek or paralysis or one of clouds or acid, you can just die and there's nothing you can do about it and it sucks.
You forgot Ice Blast and also
Yeah,
Scattershot.
that sucks too. All
Like
of
the
these.
only ones that don't really suck are like what? Confusion, kind of, maybe? Flame?
Polymorph.
Polymorph is pretty good for
Poly-
you. Like Disintegration
yeah.
freaking wrecks you too, because you don't have that much MR at
Yeah,
that
it
stage.
does.
Like,
And not much HP.
it really sucks. Like, so why do you think they did this?
I don't know. You can't play around it. You already had to, if you were someone like a ZXC player or Straking, you already had to act like Ijib had one of those wands. So it hasn't changed the way that you should play optimally, but you now just happen to get destroyed. I don't know, didn't like it.
So, God, that was, that was the most disappointing reaction of my entire life. Like, imagine if every React video was just some guy just sitting there on the couch being like, I guess. Wow, I'm not really a fan of that. You know what I mean? Come on. You've ruined the anger and you've ruined the outrage that other people are feeling right now. They've been denied their chance to live vicariously through you. You
Trying
understand
my
that?
best here, man.
Like at least pop off a little bit. Like come on, just say I'm not a fan of this change. Like just at a tempo at maybe more than 2 words a minute. Like come on, let's go. All right, fine, whatever. Giant Spike Club's base delay has been lowered from 1.9 to 1.8, allowing them to reach min delay at skill level 22 instead of skill level 24. I'm not sure what this change is. Trolls really would never use Giant Spike Clubs, and they're the only race that can really use them. So, like, I don't know why they would buff it. It's not gonna ever like you're gonna pick Troll and you're gonna use unarmed combat. It's a no-brainer, right? Like the aptitude for troll unarmed combat and the fact that unarmed combat has claw, like why would you? No, let's talk about ogres, all right? ogres, ogres. Why would you fucking pick a giant spike club or a club in general? Just pick a spear. It's 0 aptitude. You can use your magic with the spear. Oh, so smart. You give an ogre spell casting ability. And then you tell them, wait guys, but Giant Spy Club is still a viable option with a -1 fucking aptitude. No mage in any fucking 3-in game would run a battle axe and magic. It just doesn't, like, it's not gonna make sense to give one of the heaviest fucking races, heaviest fucking weapons for a race that doesn't want to use them. You give me magic, and then you tell me, oh wait, but guys, melee is still fucking useful. But it's not, because you're not gonna want to invest the EXP into it to get, because you're using magic. Like, what the fuck? I'm like so surprised that they're still trying to buff it when the reality is like, you've given us the tools to be a mage. You give us the tools to be a mage, you remove all fucking scald spells, like repel missiles and haste and shit, and then you just say, alright, fine, now you're gonna throw fireballs with the giant spike club? Just fucking throw rocks. Oh wait, they fucking nerfed rocks too. What is ogre? What are they supposed to fucking be? Make your fucking mind up. Are they melee? Or are they mage? Why'd you give me mage spells, mage aptitudes, if you don't want me to be a mage? You know what I mean? Like, fuck. Alright, Ultra, that's how you pop off. That's how you be angry. Alright?
Yeah, that's good.
Now answer the question, Ultra. Now you need to be the dev apologist.
I can't for this one. I really hate where ogres are.
Even Ultra fucking hates these things. What do you, like, what, Ultra, would you ever fucking pick Giant Spy Club now? Like, apart from for the
No.
memes. Like,
I
why
wouldn't
would
even
you pick
an
it?
ogre now. I'm not playing ogre.
I picked
I
ogre.
don't want
I
to.
suffered horribly for picking ogre. Am I right, guys? Death on Zop 5. I was abused. The ancient liches tied me up, slowed me, and then touched me with their crystal spear. Twice. It was fucked up. I'm still traumatized. But we will see ogre be done like probably next month or this month. We'll see. One of the two.
Well, they just buffed the Spike Club. Maybe that's what you should try.
Wow. Maybe if I'm gonna do my Ice Elementalist, I'll be able to use my Scald spells in order to buff up my Giant Spike Club. I mean, maybe in some scenario I would want to use robes and a giant fucking spiked club.
It's only 22 now.
Wow, only at 22 at -1 aptitude. Thank God. I mean, like, with that much extra EXP, I can learn Firestorm or something. I don't know. Like, what the fuck? Why? Like, oh God. Ah, man, Ogre. The reason why we hate it is because Ogre is like the darling child now. Like +3/+3. Like starting the game by pressing M, Shift A, B B was the most satisfying thing in the world. Getting that fucking giant spike club up, getting that Mason flails up with a +3, getting that fighting up with a +3. It was the most. Oh God, it was so damn good to use that. But now that is disgusting. It's just it's a tragedy. Rest in peace, Ogre. Anyway, so there's other stuff that I haven't even seen yet, which is weird because I played yesterday. Transporters, a new dungeon feature that acts like stairs, sending you somewhere else in the current level, taking adjacent followers and foes along with you. Currently, a new few vaults, and some existing ones like the Glibria WizLab use this feature, but look out for more transporter shenanigans to come. So I thought at first that this would be a legitimate dungeon feature, like hatches and escape hatches and the shaft thingers. What are they called? What are the downstairs ones called?
They're just hatches, aren't they?
Those are hatches. So what's the upstairs called? Emergency
They're
staircase?
both hatches.
Whoa, that's weird. Anyway, so these things act like the little little passage of Galibria things. Um, if they're gonna be part of the dungeon, it could be pretty interesting, but I don't really see the point of it. So, I mean, it could be cool, but we haven't seen too many of them yet. So, unfortunately, like I can't really comment on them. I will tell you, I will say more when I do see it in the video though. New Vault. Now this one I've actually seen and I fucking hate it so much. An epic expansion of the underscore grid, a series of vaults that arrange a randomly chosen group of sub-vaults taken from a varied and dangerous set into a giant geometric arrangement, including one that can encompass an entire depth level. Now, if I am correct, this is the one where you have 3 upstairs and 3 downstairs in a very small space, and then literally everything fucking around you is insanely hard. It's like the worst fucking floor in all of human history. It's so fucking bad. Like, holy shit. Like, I fought 12 caustic strikes, 5 juggernauts, and just an insane myriad of just spriggan packs, troll packs, giants, like shadow dragons. Just like they just threw them at me. Like I was sitting there for like 25 minutes. I wasn't paying attention because I was in a lecture and I was just playing like kind of brain dead. But like at some point I was just like, wait, am I still on this fucking floor? Wait, holy shit, I've lost like 20 fucking consumables trying to fight this entire thing because my automatic response system was just like, oh, use an ability, use an ability, use an ability, use a consumable, escape, okay, escape, because of course I was just playing like automatically. But that shit was impossible. Like I didn't even finish it. I'm still not done with it. I like finished. It took me like 25 minutes to clear like a quarter or a third of it out, and then I was just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna skip it. There's no point. Like if that's the grid that if that's the vault that I'm talking about, then fuck this vault. If you're gonna see it, if you ever see like, it looks like kind of like a figure 8 shape, I believe, the initial one where there's 3 upstairs and 3 downstairs in the little like 8 sections. Just skip just skip the floor. You're gonna die. Like it's gonna be real bad for you. Like I was playing a berserker and I almost died twice. That's pretty scary. So yeah, if you see that, run away. Ultra, you got anything on this, or have you even seen this?
I've seen a picture of someone else doing it. It looked pretty horrific.
Like, it was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. So just like depth floors should not have to be skipped like that every time you see it. It's just like it's so frustrating to just get gypped out of one Zot floor, one depth floor because the game just decided to throw you a curveball. Like, what the fuck? Why? Entire depth level vaults are terrible. They're the worst thing ever. Even the ones that are huge, like the big ass, like undead, Kiku looking area. That's horrible. Like, why would you ever want to face ancient liches? Like, why would you want to kill yourself? That makes no sense. Like the Okawaru altars are pretty bad. The Shining One Palace is horrible. Like the big ass castle is horrible. Like they're all such difficult areas that it's just better to just not do them at all. So it's like not an interesting decision. It's just like just skip it. Just skip the content. It's fine. And entire depth levels take that to a much bigger degree. You just have to skip the floor. Like the entire massive like palace ones, just skip them. There's no point in doing them. It's too hard. There's too much work. Also new is an Elven Blade Works, a witch hunting guild, watch out for anti-magic, an orcish arena of gladiators, and an overgrown lair chateau, among others. So that's pretty cool, I guess. Witch hunting guild sounds pretty cool. Those seem like my kind of people. Anti-magic? I love anti-magic. How did you know? But yeah, everything else looks pretty straightforward. The new transporter feature a set of loot vaults now that show you the awaiting prizes should you transport in and survive the monster onslaught on the other side. Also a Zot-themed Abyssal Rune vault that has you transported into a mini hall of Zot 5, but where run through... What? But where run through the vault in reverse to get to the Abyssal Rune and reach the exit. Okay. That was not English. But
Nice one, Gamma.
But where run through the... So I assume that you're just taken to a Vault's 5. Okay, fine. Zot's 5. That's cool. I hope there's no fucking orbs of fire, because that would be just nightmarish. Having to fight extra orbs of fire. That would just be ugh. Like, if there are actually, like, Zot 5 enemies in there, I'm just gonna just teleport and look for another one, because ugh, that doesn't sound good for a third rune. So Captain's Cutlass no longer chops up Hydra heads. That's probably a bug. Captain's Cutlass was always a rapier, not a scimitar, I believe, so good.
Yeah, it's a short blade.
Yeah, manuals are now always pre-identified. No sense in delaying that wonderful feeling when your demigod finds a manual in a loot pile only to discover that it's for invocations. Cool. I hope there's an RC file that like lets you choose which manuals you can auto pick up, because those get really annoying to drop, especially when you have a force more on your stupid manual dropping. Ugh, that's horrible. Alligators move even faster when they're using their sprint ability. Australians, please don't try to wrestle these. Look, it was only one time. Gamma, come on, it was just once, alright? Like, you don't have to keep bringing it up. Like, yes, I killed it. I know it was inhumane. Yes, I did use my bare hands, but, like, it was a fair contest, okay? Like, come on. Also applies to Maurice and Gastronaut. I didn't even know that Maurice could have their sprint ability. Or Gastronaut.
I didn't either. So there
See,
you go.
Now the problem with this is that there's no fucking indicator, like, on the character that it's hasted or that it's moving quickly. Like, it's so freaking weird sometimes that you just like assume that it's like random energy, because they use the sprint and the only thing you get is a small ass line of text that says he starts moving faster. Like, what? 2017 having to look at the stupid chat log. Come on now, like let's. Like, you put the berserk trees, like Awakened Forest thing with berserk icons. Just put the haste icon on the sprint ability. It'd be great. Please do it. That'd be nice. Secret Moon lore updated. What?
That's a pleasing fungus change.
I know, right? What the fuck does that even mean? What's Secret Moon? There must be some content that we haven't seen yet, because what? I assume that's to do with the moon base, I suppose? I don't know. Like, God. Anyway, stash searches now by default hide distant items that are duplicates of weapons, armor, and ammo. Alright, so that's pretty much useless, because all it really does is just... Oh, well, sorry, it's not useless because it, like, shortens the list up, the search list, but it pretty much just does the same thing. Like, it just hides all the vanilla stuff and stuff that you don't really care about. So it's pretty good. It's not bad. It's a very good change. Like, that's the good one. An equip bar can be enabled currently for console only, so why are you telling us this? Anyway, via the equip bar RC option, which displays a row of the console glyphs of your currently equipped items in place of the new noise bar. console glyphs. If you've already got a good sense of what makes loud noise and you like to show off your artifact bling, this may be a good option for you. Why does that? I don't know what. Alright, that's interesting. Like, I mean, it'd make more sense for tiles because tiles actually look cool. Console glyphs, like, it just changes color when you have artifacts, right?
I
I don't
assume
think
so. I don't know how
that's an odd one. All right,
that works.
this one's the one that triggered that Ultra gets triggered by, right? This next one. Was that
Not
you? Or was that
triggered
someone
by it.
else? Were you triggered by it, or was that Gamma?
Maybe a little both.
Was Gamma triggered by it? He
Uh,
himself?
I don't know. He did reverse one of the changes.
Ooh, what did he reverse?
When the bow first got renamed, he changed it back.
Ooh, that's pretty good. All right, so the Ring of Shaolin is now the Ring of Phasing, and the Bow of Krishna Shargna is now the Longbow Zephyr. No changes to the Unran's properties, just the names. The old names were direct references to real-world place and to a religious figure, respectively, something we'd like to avoid, and no, blow up the orc and killer clowns don't count. Now, this has just been like, this is literally just the same fucking thing as the time where Snorg got turned into a female for some fucked up reason. The same thing as when Grindr is, despite being the app for gay men, is a woman now. What? Wait, is Grindr a woman?
Yes, Grind is female.
Are you sure?
Yeah, 100%.
You sure? Are you absolutely sure about that? Because I feel like Grindr is Grindr is that thing, right? That app you use, the one you were talking to me
Yeah,
about.
that's
the,
right.
The one you were telling
Yeah,
me to
you
use.
should.
I said I don't swing that way.
You should install it. It's fun.
Well, look, I would, but you know, like, I just don't swing that way, dude. Like, I know how you do, but I ain't about that life. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes when life gives you lemons, you don't go to a gay bar. Somewhere along the line, that analogy lost all coherence. Anyway, so the Ring of Shaolin, that's sad to see it go because the Ring of Shaolin sounds really cool. The Ring of Phasing sounds like kind of dumb, but it's a sneaky reference to phase shift. Rest in peace. +8 of aid. Rest in peace. Bye bye. And the Bow of Krishna Shagna. I don't really like the name Zephyr. It's just kind of garbage. But yeah, this has been a long time coming because the devs have been on a crusade against references to the Crusade. I think the Sword of Jihad's gone. That's a Zealot sword now. What else was changed? I don't remember. Oh, Ultra died. So that's unlucky. Wait, Ultra, did you die? Hello, Ultra. Ultra actually died. Okay, that's unlucky. Um, oh, I just disconnected from the internet. Hey, hooray! The fuck? Okay. Well, that's awkward. Anyway, so I'm gonna try to fix my internet. Ultra says goodbye, but he also says that he's lame. I also say goodbye. I'm not lame. Like and subscribe. Something something. Trunk updates. 24th of April 2017 by GammaFunk. Thank you for posting this, Gamma. We actually did enjoy. We do enjoy these series. I'm speaking for Ultra now, as well. They're actually quite good to talk about. So yeah, thanks for giving us something to talk about, I guess. No one's actually responded to this one. Anyway, I'm gonna pop off because for some reason everything is just starting to break around me. So, hooray! Bye.